We are allegedly live.
Oh no. You are all doomed.
Yep.
Divine interesting. Oh my god, we're all going to die?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I see it. Found the Summer of Love thing. There we go.
No. AIE-guild.org/podcast-live-stream.
You haven't.
Oh, I can't spell chat. It's a 4-letter word. Some days it is a 4-letter word. All right, there we go.
Yup.
You have a name? Do you have a name?
Yeah, you said you're working through technical difficulty, and I said I have a name.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. And
you're a man, not a number? Or technical difficulty?
no, I was talking about the camera, so we're all good. Okay, there's Mew, McCullough, Gusty, me. Okay. As soon as someone acknowledges our existence in the chat room, or I can just go check Twitch. And all right, Twitch looks good. It says live,
Awesome.
excellent. So, Mew, whenever you are ready. Oh, there's Seema.
Thank you,
Yay!
Seema. You're the best.
Yay.
It's good to have that confirmation.
It is.
Where did you guys go? There you are.
I know. There's the thing. Okay.
And the stuff and the
theme,
thing.
right? Theme, then news, news, then okay. Theme, then news. Got
One
it.
check. One thing I need to check is Dajara, or Dahara?
Jara, I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Okay, just checking.
Alrighty. You ready, Dean? Yeah.
Hey, Deanie Dean.
Yeah, he's right there.
It's okay.
Local baby.
Mew.
Yeah.
Literally, I grabbed a drink as I took the drink. As I'm setting the cup down, the cat comes up and jumps. Pop.
Mm-hmm.
Pop the cup right on top of his head as he was trying to get up, and then he looks at me like, "What'd you do that for?" And I'm like,
Biggie's
Sounds about right.
handsome, but he's not smart.
"He is a imbecile. He is a complete imbecile." All right.
Yeah, I think Deanie has finally forgiven me for putting him in the kennel. So Sam, of course, was just immediately, "Oh, I love you. Oh,
I love you. I
hey."
miss you so much. Where'd
Yeah.
you go, Dad?
Yep. Whereas Dean's like, "Oh, I can't believe."
Can't
Anyway,
believe you did that. The audacity.
I don't know. All right. I guess we are ready to go. Nope. Bach is giving us things over there.
No, that's I think he meant to put that in the content creators channel.
Oh, okay.
And if he didn't, it's too late for show notes. We've started the show.
Great.
I'm sorry.
Cut off.
We have a theory.
Yeah.
I have a policy.
Yes. All righty. Is everyone righty?
Sure.
Close enough for government work?
Yep.
I only file for the government. I don't actually do government work.
All right. We shall start in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE podcast.
Season 4 launches on August 2nd. Hey, we have something that day.
Legacy of the Sith is on August 2nd. Hey, we still have something that day.
STO has Tier 5 on the radar. I'm sure we have something on that day too.
And we have your full Summer of Love schedule.
Plus, we have Gusty Koo to tell us all about AIE's Summer of Love.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE podcast.
And welcome to episode 390 of the podcast celebrating you, the LA Yaktas gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Mewcow. Greetings, Guildies. And to my virtual or physical left is Makala.
Hey, Mew and Guildies. Let's see, what's in the Guild kitchen? It is a peach blueberry crumble.
And somewhere amongst her right and downstairs is Tetsemi.
Probably cleaning. Hello.
Because of the crumble.
Yup.
And of course, this week we are joined by a special guest, Gusty Koo, who is here to talk to us about AIE Summer of Love. So welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. All right. Well, why don't we see what everyone's been doing and whatnot. Words are hard. And we're going to start with Gusty and see what you've been doing since you've last been with us.
Well, doing a lot of Summer of Love planning, and it's
see.
going to be really fun, the things I've got, and some people are really excited about the snail races. I'll say more about it later, but I just kind of threw it in there as a goofy thing, and several people were like, ooh, can we cheat? I'm like, sure.
No, are these deadly snails or are these regular snails?
There are now snail mounts obtainable. You have to, it's something in the end zone, Zereth Mortis. You can gather materials and craft a whole bunch of different pets and mounts. You can get 3 different snails, and they're snails. They, go really slow. I mean, they go regular mount speed, but they look really slow. And so I thought, well, that would be funny to watch a whole bunch of people race snails. So then people in WoW were like, wow, that's really fun. Can we race frogs too? And how about turtles? And how about llamas, alpacas, whatever? So, it's still called snail races, but whatever, if people show up, if we have more than 2 people that want to race something, we'll race it. And then one of the people who was coming said, what are the rules so that I can find a way to bend them?
Wow.
He didn't say cheat. He said bend them.
Must be a
Yeah,
goblin.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I was like, interesting. I hadn't, I just was going around a track kind of thing.
Right.
So we're going to the Gurabashi Arena, which is a PvP
Oh.
place.
So there are deadly snails.
Well, what he wants to do is have people like sort of a demolition derby, where you can try to knock people off their mounts and then hop on yours, and then maybe use a trinket or a toy or ability, something. It's just something to keep the other people from racing. And so we'll probably do a couple of those as well as the regular ones. Gurabashi Arena also has that upper platform where you can just go around in a circle, and you're not PvP flagged there. So we can do the regular races there, and perfect, they have spectator seating.
They do.
Excellent.
I looked all over WoW for a good place that spectators can watch
Perfect for
the
Summer
race.
Love.
So that's that one thing, and now we can proceed.
Awesome.
All right. Well, then let's see what Makala's been going up to. I know that you have some interesting things to talk about.
Yes. Well, let's see. I did something yesterday that I've kind of been aiming for a while. I had there's a mountain here, North Mountain, and it's great because it has a lot of it's paved for a good part of the mountain. The bad thing is it's very steep. Very steep. And I wanted to run up North Mountain for my birthday this year. And while I was on vacation, I was at Grand Park, which had a not as steep, but it definitely had a paved up. And I decided to start training because I've been kind of I've been lazy about it. I have not been doing it. I haven't been doing as much practice as I should have. This one time I got out there, I took 3 steps and said, nope, not going up. I'll run down. Run down's easy. So yesterday morning I decided I'm going to try. I'm going to start getting back into, to training. I need to make sure that I can, do this. And I ran North Mountain. I did walk a tiny bit between, cause it kind of, what do you call that? Switchback stuff.
Oh, switchback.
So after each switchback, I would take, walk a tiny bit to get a little bit of water and then go again. So yeah, no, I did that. So I'm really proud of myself. It's about 3/4 of a mile up. And then the down is easy. The down is, I can do that in a singular without stopping, no problem. So that's one cool thing. Work's been insane. I have 3 new contractors, so I've been working on their training schedule. And in gaming news, my big thing is, so I've been playing a lot, of course, but our Call of Cthulhu campaign ended after 2.5 years.
Long campaign.
Long campaign, great campaign. We saved the world.
Yay!
Congrats.
The last session had ended, where we were back in time in Atlantis, and we had gotten a hold of an item called the Palladium, which was all these different artifacts that we had searched for in the current time. All of them were combined together. So, the Noct Wolf, which are, our Nazi counterparts, they had gotten it. They had gone back in time with this mask that they were able to steal. They had gotten it. So we actually we had grabbed it the very last minute, like before the last session, but we need to figure out how to close the portal because Deoloth is right behind us, and there's a chance this terrifying creature is going to get to modern times.
Which we do that.
So, yeah, no, the DM kind of told us, what's gonna happen, what would happen. Like literally, there's a Godzilla plot line that would have happened had we not been able to close. Like it would have destroyed the world. So yeah, we got through, and it was actually a pretty tense moment because we still had half a session left, and we did not know if we were going to survive. There was still that very real possibility that one or more of us would not survive, and this was very real because in the other part of this campaign, 3/4 of the party died. So we all got back through. We took care of these soldiers that were shooting at us. The scientists, they weren't hostile. They got to leave. They were able to flee. We shut down the portal. We sent, as we were going through to shut down, to basically take down the electromagnets. There were 8 of them around this generator. No, that's not the part I was doing though. Sorry. Tet was showing some pictures.
Restricted by pictures.
Sorry. Our party member Joe, and Joe was the only surviving member of the group that died. It was my friend James, because he and I were both dual wielding characters, because we both were playing our regular character and our backup character. But he's the one, basically, his whole party had died. So this was a guy that, was running on empty. He knew that maybe it was part of his destiny to do this. He went back to the portal with the Palladium. He was met by some priests that basically said, "You don't belong here. What are you doing here?" He gave him the device. This needs to be with you. It doesn't belong in our world. Like, okay, we're gonna take this and we're gonna separate it into 5 pieces, so nobody can get that. So basically, he going kind of created the scenario that our characters hunted down these 5 pieces across the entire world. So then Joe came back through, and we destroyed the rest of the other half of the electromagnets, and we were able to close that gate before this terrifying. Literally, he was 3 rounds within coming through. And there was this is a Cthulian, a Lovecraftian old one. There was not a way that nothing we would have had that would have destroyed it. So, and then we kind of went to our epilogue. What our characters were doing. One of them joined the military service. 2 of us stayed kind of working on the occult stuff. 2 of the other characters finally got married after being together for 15 years. One character went to go stay with her sister, which is how the adventure began. Like that was our part of our hook. So yeah, it was really, really amazing seeing like the conclusion of this very long plot, and the story took place over 3 years, so 1937 to 1940. Multiple continents. I think we figured it out there's a total of 14 characters and 9 players that had played it at one point.
Wow.
So yeah, no, it was a really great feeling, and I went to bed with the biggest smile on my face once that game wrapped up. So then we're off for a few weeks, and then we're gonna start a Miskatonic.
Awesome.
All right. Well, then let's see what's been going on with Tetsemi.
So this week with the Summer of Love stuff coming back up, I dipped my toe back into WoW just to see where I left off and see how easy it would be to catch up on at least Tet. Not planning on doing the raiding in season 4. I think that part's well behind, at least for this expansion, maybe the next expansion. But I wanted to see Zereth Mortis. I hadn't opened it up yet, so I dove into that. Got all of the storyline done. Got to see all the trailers in game, in context, which is always nice. And got flying because it was just like, go explore the map, kill 10 rares, and open 5 treasures. I'm like, okay, I can do that in an afternoon.
That.
Yeah. So did that. And
I need to ask.
Go ahead.
Did you turn the music on in there? Because it's beautiful.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I usually keep the music turned off. Okay, you knew about that.
Yep. No, I always leave the music on.
Okay.
So, yeah, I did that and then realized I got to the end. Like halfway through Zereth Mortis, I had to go back to Oribos and I got flagged by Kalia Menethil and then realized she wanted to go do something over in Brill. And I'm like, okay, we'll go over there. And turns out that that's the Desolate Council creation for the Forsakens. And we get a, one of my favorite parts of that whole thing is you go with her deep into Lordaeron to grab a sample of the plague. You bring it back. And my covenant has been throughout the whole thing Maldraxxus. So you take it to your friend over in Maldraxxus, and he's like, "Oh, let me experiment on that while you, because we'll make a plague eater that can take care of the plague, and no problem." So there's a whole quest line where you work with Maldraxxus and create the plague eater, end up making this huge plague monster that you have to defeat. And then the plague eater turns into a huge plague monster you have to defeat. It's all sorts of fun. But it was nice just to see them pull Maldraxxus into the current storyline and say, "You guys know about plagues, right? Help us." So yeah.
I liked the part where she went to speak with the one of the powerful necrolords there, and said, "Am I evil because I was raised by necromancy?"
Right.
And
she's like, "I was raised by the light. They're all raised by death and necromancy. How can I relate to them?" And he's like, "Doesn't matter how you get raised. Necromancy is necromancy. No matter the method used to it, you're the same." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Then we have more in common than I thought." Yeah, which was nice. So
it was a nice bit of writing.
Oh yeah, no, it was
you were
very
raised
good.
by a power.
Exactly. You were raised necromantically, one by the light, the other by death, and yeah. So that was nice to see. So I worked through that storyline, and then realized I never finished the Chains of Domination storyline either. So I had to go back to that and finish that up, and got through that story. So I got to see the end of the Jailer and the outcome with Sylvanas before I got to see what happened to Sylvanas. Even though I'd seen all the videos. So, but it was just nice to work through all that.
Good videos.
And then I hopped in LFR because I figured, okay, everyone's way overpowered now. The Jailer should just fall over. So, and it's the end queue, thankfully, for LFR is one is Sylvanas, one's the Jailer. So we one-shot the Jailer even with like 6 people in LFR dead. So I get to see that cinematic in context and all that. So just kind of got caught up and ready for whatever their pre-patch is going to be, because I think I'm decently geared enough to get the new gear out of the pre-patch if they do new. I don't know. Sometimes they do gear during the pre-patch. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like, here's some gear for your alts that you're not playing right now. So when they get up, they can go right into the new expansion. I'm hoping they do that. So, but I've done that. Set ESO and Final Fantasy 14 aside for a little bit. Checked in with Star Wars because, again, I don't know why, but they picked August 2nd, our Summer of Love anniversary, and they're
They
going to
didn't
launch
know.
their 7.1 patch with its new story content. So that is one thing I did want to bring up. Since we have two major patches in two major games, we have the WoW patch and we have the SOTOR patch. If the servers, for whatever reason, are not behaving during our Summer of Love event, we will find other ways of celebrating for those games. So just be patient with us, be flexible, and we should be good. But that's what I've been up to.
mean-
What about you, Mew?
I say at least Final Fantasy has been nice enough to wait until late August to do
Right.
their patch
Right.
content.
Yeah.
So
Same
yeah,
with
they don't have a
Classic.
date
That'll
quite
be
yet.
September.
Yeah. But no, let's see. Real life wise, we did a reckless thing and did a bit of traveling, and wanted to visit some friends in Washington State, not DC, which I've had to explain to several people this last couple of weeks. It's
Oh,
like, yeah,
wow.
they are nowhere near each other, and size
funny.
difference. Yeah, yeah. Well, one of them was Australian, so that's understandable. But
Yeah,
the other,
definitely.
but the other one was American that I had to explain that to. So I guess it's still not clear what Washington D.C. and Washington State are. But but yeah, spent a week out there. Enjoyed at least for half the trip temperatures that weren't over 100. It was quite nice to be in 80s.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember the first day it hit like 91, and everyone in the area is like, "Oh, it's so hot," and I'm like, "Wow, this feels pleasant." Like, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
oh, that breeze. Like, yeah, part of it too is the area we're in doesn't have much humidity, kind of like Arizona.
Right.
So, like, even though it's hot, it doesn't feel hot,
Right.
Right.
which is good and bad. I mean, there's a lot of good, but there's also by the way, it is technically still hot. You just don't feel it. So therefore, make sure you're drinking and all that fun
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
But we spent some time on the Columbia River, which was nice. It's a very long river. I was looking at it, and its origins are up in Canada. So it's a very long, winding river. Hits a lot of interesting areas along the way. And yeah, just kind of enjoyed some time out there, and watched kiddos run around a lot because we went to two different birthday parties while we were out there. So it was just weird being social.
Yeah.
And we if you hear knocking noises, it's because I've been knocking on wood a lot. But
Yeah.
somehow we if we caught anything, it's not shown up because we've tested, and if we've not had any symptoms or whatnot. But I was probably I would say overly and almost too much paranoid about it. But I'm
Oh,
not
You
sick, so
can't be.
therefore it's not
no.
bad. Yeah.
No.
You can't be.
Yeah, so we were well masked. We hand sanitizer everywhere, washed hands everywhere. Weren't licking doorknobs and stuff like that. So we managed to
You
make it a
changed
safe
your
trip.
habits, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was it was. I mean, it's the first time in at least 3 years that we've gone anywhere. It was just a
Yeah.
very surreal experience.
That's
Um,
how. Yeah, I know that one for us definitely was the same. Was for our first, con in forever, and then also when we went to Disney.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yep.
I mean, so it is possible to travel without catching stuff, but
Yeah.
on the flip side, it feels like everyone else I know has gotten COVID this
I
last week.
know.
That's no,
A lot of them
100%.
have been traveling. Like
Yeah.
I have so many people who were like, "Oh yeah, I went on vacation and came back with COVID." I'm like, and which is why I will be masking on the way to Boston and
Yeah.
inside of any buildings and
Yeah, I mean that's that. I've done 2 plane trips now, and just was masked and very very paranoid about making sure I wasn't touching my face and I had everything clean, and I came back without stuff. So
Yeah.
it
It
is
works.
yeah, it does work. You do have to use, like, I make sure my masks were N95 and not KN95,
Right.
which is apparently a thing that can trip you up.
Yeah.
That the KN95 is the Chinese version of N95, which is not up to the standards of N95. so-
Good to know.
Yep. So make sure you're paying attention to where what you're rating your masks are and all that fun stuff. But boring stuff aside, game-wise, I did just finish the Heart of Thorns expansion in Guild Wars 2 last night. So
Nice.
finally got through that. So yeah, I've been trying to go through the content in Guild Wars 2 because I basically hadn't touched it until recently
Yeah.
at all. So I have all this content to do. I've done Living Story 1 as far as you can because they're actually right now in the process of slowly re-releasing Living Story 1 because of the way things were, they took it completely out of the game. So that even if you owned it, like it just wasn't available for whatever reason. So now what they're doing is quest by quest, they're putting in a chunk, and it's refactored for the current game.
Yep.
So I think there's like 3 quests in there right now that you can do. But then they have all of Living Story 2, 3, and 4, and then of course they have all the expansion stuff because they're not going to take that away.
Right.
But yeah, they're doing like world boss revamps, and the latest one was some giant worm, very Dune vibes going on. But yeah, that was it's been interesting to go through that quest line. Apparently, this was the hardest of the expansions.
Oh
Like
wow.
they didn't quite like understand the tuning, so like I died constantly in Heart of Thorns, even because you're at max level, you're at level 80, but like the stuff there's just brutal. The packs are really dense.
Mhm.
Like their whole death situation is really interesting. You can fight for your life to get back up, kind of like Borderlands style, but like you're just constantly dying because the stuff is just brutal in that area. Like they pretty much expect you to have like a posse of people with you, and even with that full posse, people are just dying left and right. It's kind of crazy, but
Wow.
but yeah, no, it's that's been fun. And other than that, I did participate. So this weekend has been LunarCon in Final Fantasy 14. It is a player run convention in game, with a lot of big names. It's very similar to something we might be familiar with, where we do a bunch of interesting content in game, but
Oh yeah.
for different reasons. But yeah, they've had contests and DJs and art. They had an artist gallery, artist hall or whatever, so you can go get your character on all of that fun stuff. So I
Neat.
think today's the last night, the last day of it. It's been the last. This will be the third day, so that's been interesting because it's very quiet over there right now because they're not going to have content until the end of August.
Yeah.
Right.
So they did this the last year for the first time, and they just wanted to have a virtual con so that people didn't feel like they were missing out by not going to all the in-person ones. So,
Right.
and
Yep.
it's funny seeing people like virtually in line, like for
Yeah.
That's
yeah, 'cause
fabulous.
Virtual queues.
yeah, well, and it's because like they have meet and greets. So like
Right.
all the big streamers will hang out in an area, and there's literally a line of people waiting, and like you can join voice call, and you chat with them, and you
Neat.
take pictures and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, it's been pretty fun to watch. But that's probably enough out of me. So I'm going to find the notes and see what's next.
Yes.
Look, looks like that would be the AIE news.
Yeah.
AIE News.
All right, we have Guild Podcast News. The Escape Podcast, 433, 7.1 live streams. The very last Charles Boyd stream for SOTOR was um, today?
Wow.
When they-
it was
like-
Thursday.
They covered it on Thursday, yes. And they had some more 7.1 news from some of the new teams directly. And also in Max and SEMA stuff, Behind the Games, leading from the front, Behind the Games chats with Chris Schmidt of Infinity Ward, not Wars. That's a whole different
Yep.
thing. As game director at Infinity Ward's new Austin studio, Chris builds on his vast AAA gaming, AAA gaming creator and leadership experience at BioWare, where they first met Chris years ago. They talk about what the game director does, what games and design principles inspire him, how useful and less useful feedback comes across, and what's on his shelf. Thanks, Chris. All right, and in Gaming Persona podcast, understanding the video game grind. The video game grind keep players endlessly engaged. In this episode, Dr. Gameology and Jenny review some of the most notorious current games that use that grind. By the way, links to all of the shows are in the show notes.
Yep. And in Fleet Action Report, the galaxy goes to red alert. In this episode of Fleet Action Report, watch as Nicodus and Greebog join the fight against the Borg, Tholians, Alachi, and the Nakul. Watch to see if they can prevent the Zenkethi from destroying a peaceful galaxy. And in Working Class Nerds, which again, reminder, not safe for work language, Nick and Marcus are joined by Nick's paintball teammate and close friend Fernando. The three of them discuss all of the new Marvel content that was announced at Comic-Con. Enjoy. And yeah, there was a ton of content.
There was a lot. I am currently listening to my brain is completely blank, but yeah, a podcast where they're kind of giving the review. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of news.
It is. Yep.
And it's great.
It is.
All right. Over in the land of the nomads, in particular, New World, the Summer Medley Fair event is now in progress. So jump on in if you've taken a break. Also, in board game news, this Thursday night is AIE board game night at 7:30 p.m. Central. All you need is a web browser and a free account at boardgamearena.com. So come join them for a bit of board game fun. Then over in this little game called WoW, Season 4 launches on August 2nd.
Yup.
Curious.
Crack.
Yep.
Lance.
Season, yeah. That's, they wanted to join in too, and this is the only way they knew how, by throwing content at us.
Exactly.
So Season 3 will be coming to a close as a result. So Alliance Raid Team So Let's Go Skating killed Heroic Jailer just in time for Ahead of the Curve achievement. And in Mythic Plus Dungeons, 11 players in the Alliance-led cross-faction group got their Keystone Master achievement, so that's also just in time. Gusty, maybe someone we're talking to, is one of the final few, thanks to a lot of help from everyone. Also on the Horde side, Raid Team Filthy Casuals has been clearing
Not
normal
safe for work.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving on to Heroic. So, they'll have more stuff coming shortly.
Yeah. Is Keystone Master plus 10 or plus 15?
15.
Okay.
Well, you need 2,500.
Right, 2,500 rating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get points for each dungeon that you complete.
Right.
And the last week or two, I was getting like 1 point,
Yeah.
5 points, and I was like less than 100 points.
Oh.
And then some people took me through a 17, and we timed it,
Nice.
which got me like 50 points. Like, boom,
Wow.
got that sweet mount.
That's good.
Nice.
Cool.
It's just, I mean, the Alliance-led cross-faction team, Alliance has been pushing Mythics a lot.
Yeah.
And they have some really good people, and then they do even higher stuff, but then they help other people who a little less brilliant along, and I was one of those. It's just, very AIE in doing what you enjoy and helping others to enjoy it at a higher level. And I just, it's great to see people doing that.
It is indeed. Also, there are some new details on Dragonflight, some kind of expansion thing that's coming out. It's weird to think that dragon riding could make getting from place to place fun, rather than the slow grind to unlock flying that we've seen in the past expansions. Like, you pretty much almost immediately unlock dragon riding when you get in there. So, like, the whole place
area,
is
you get a new dragon. Yeah, so it's not flying, but you get these different dragons. They're hugely customizable. And it's almost like a mini game, the dragon riding, when you fly from place to place instead of, having to run, kill tons of mobs until you unlock flying.
Yeah.
And then, you just flap, 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 flap.
Yeah.
You never really think of it. It feels great to just do that flap, flap, flap and get exactly where you want to go. Dragon riding, it's like Spyro. It's I mean, that's the closest thing.
And Carly wants to know if they're doing Dragon Riders or Pern and WoW now.
Pretty much.
That's what it
Pern
seems like.
was not what I read first, but yeah.
Well, I know what he meant, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's more of maybe How to Train Your Dragon. Or, I don't know.
Yeah.
It starts out as dragon gliding, and then it becomes
Yeah.
dragon riding.
Yeah. Essentially, they're borrowing, stealing heavily from Guild Wars 2.
Oh,
If
okay.
you're familiar with, so back when like Heart of Thorns in Guild Wars 2, that introduced gliding, so personal gliders, and then some of the newer expansions like Path of Fire actually introduced mounts to the game for the first time. And they're not just like WoW mounts. Like no, they actually have like purposes. Like the first one is the Raptor, where it has like giant leaps, and then there's the Springer, which is a giant bunny, and it springs up in the air. And then there's oh geez, what is it called? The Jackals that can teleport. And then like so that's the thing is like Guild Wars 2 mounts have like a purpose. And the newest one is dragons. And it's the same thing where it's not like you're not just hovering in place and whatnot. Like no, that they don't do that in this world. Like that's not how it works. You don't just defy gravity by sitting in like a helicopter.
Right.
So unless you're in a helicopter.
Right,
But
right.
but yeah, no, that's I mean it's we've been telling them for a long time, hey, go steal that, go steal that, go steal that. That would be great in this game, and they're finally doing that. They're actually listening. So same thing for all of the interesting crafting I've seen that coming
Yeah.
out of the alpha.
Right.
That they are borrowing heavily from Final Fantasy 14. You know,
Oh, okay.
because Final Fantasy 14 they're not going quite as far as Final Fantasy 14. In Final Fantasy 14, it is a full class. Like it's just like the other like the combat classes, it's a full class with its own quest lines, its own armor, its own like it's a class. But WoW is kind of borrowing a little bit in that like when you start crafting, you're suddenly wearing your crafting gear. Like you look like you're
It's gonna
crafting.
be fun.
Yeah.
Neat.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to put even talent trees even for crafting.
Yeah. Hmm.
So, again, like I said, they're kind of like they don't want to make it its own class because of the way the classes work in WoW, where you
Right.
are that class. So I can see why they're doing it this way. But because you can't just they don't expect you to create a brand new character who's just going to be a cook, and you're just going to
Right,
sit in the
right.
cook. You're going to sit in the kitchen in Ogrimmar, and that's all you do. So,
I mean, there are people who do that, but
well,
still.
yes, of course.
It's a
But,
choice, not a class.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's good to see. Like it's promising to see that they're finally, no longer being so insular and actually looking out to see what good things we're having fun with in other games.
Neat.
There is also this little bit in here about New Braid is being run by Wingclip and Cylindre as Dan Kinney has been on vacation. So glad to
Yeah,
hear that New
we
Braid's
got
coming.
got to Anduin last night.
Nice.
First time. Didn't get him, but it was a more genuine raid team kind of slog of working on mechanics and getting them right instead of just kind of trying to cheese things. So I hope people enjoyed it. I didn't hear any complaints, but sometimes you don't until later.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of Kinney, it was her and Elkar's 5th anniversary yesterday. Well, 5th anniversary of their wedding.
Yep.
Mhm. Yay, Kitty, if you're watching.
Yay!
Yay.
No, she's vacationing. She's ignoring us. All right, and in
Cruise, isn't she?
no.
Oh, okay.
They're actually up in the Northeast.
Ah,
All right, in a WoW Classic news, Wrath of Lich King is opening on September 26th, so yay, not the 2nd of August. There is currently a 50% XP buff, soon pre-patch with level XP reduction, new talent trees, spells, and new heroic class, which as we know, remember, is the Death Knight.
Yep. And in SOTOR news, speaking of August 2nd, the Legacy of the Sith 7.1 is planned to drop on Remembrance Day, August 2nd. Also, Taco is a Sunday night ops team, and we're needing to fill 2 DPS spots. They run Sunday night Impside at 7:30 p.m. Central.
Why do they not run on Tuesday?
Right? I mean, Taco Tuesday.
I'm disturbed by this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Taco
I
Sunday.
blame Albus. So
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but
Wait, yeah.
Who would refuse a taco on any night, though?
True. But I think, like optional Taco Sunday, but definitely Taco Tuesday.
yeah.
Definitely. All right, over in ESO, a mandatory fun night for the next 2 weeks will be hosted by some of the regular attendees, while Dan Kinney, as we mentioned, is out on town.
still out of town.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a long vacation.
She's definitely involved in a lot of stuff for the guild.
She is.
Yes.
Over in game news, Lost Depths DLC and Update 35 are available on the PC and Mac PTS right now. So if you want to go test it, go poke at it.
Awesome. All right, NSTO news. From the Federation, Colony is still moving along nicely and closing in on that Tier 5. Grigbog has also been adding some provisioning projects to keep the holding funded in places for you all to earn some fleet marks. KDF, the main star base, will be done upgrading to Tier 1 by the time this is read live. Yay, congrats! And they are closing in on Tier 3 of the dilithium mines. Thursday night fun nights are happening at 11 p.m. They do all kinds of group activities, and if someone has a request, they try to help with those as well.
And lastly, over on Final Fantasy XIV news, the 6.2 patch information page has been updated on the Lodestone. They've put on there that essentially end of August. They don't have a date, but they're thinking end of August is when 6.2 is coming out. Also, since the Moon Fair is about now, the Moon Fair items are now on the shop. So if you missed out on any of the Moon Fair events in the past, you can now buy things for cheap because they tend to discount them when they come back. There's also the Moogle tombstones are available until 6.2. So if you want some mounts and clothing and some pets and whatnot, there'll be some pretty easy ways of earning those Moogle tombstones, but only available until 6.2 is out. Also, as a reminder, data center travel is up and running. And of course, we want you to visit us on Goblin at the FC House. Any AIE member or friends thereof are welcome to hang out with us at our events, visit our house, etc. Also, map nights are still rolling along. Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is the level 90 stuff. Come along, get loot, have a great time. We do ask that you have all of the zones unlocked because it will be required. We bounce to every zone when we do these. You are not required to bring a map, but it is appreciated and just means there's more loot to be had. If you are not quite level 90, there are level 60 group of maps with a chance of loot from those expansions. So there's level 60, level 70, level 80. And they basically, I saw them, was it even earlier today? I think it was. Basically, they'll just say, hey, who's available? And whoever has maps and whoever, who is available, they'll choose who that really do 60, 70, or 80. So, they want to make sure everyone's involved.
Excellent.
Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, they are running Sprout raids again. They completed pretty much all of the legacy stuff, essentially all the way through Shadowbringers. So they're looping back and doing the Crystal Tower stuff, which is level 50. They are mandatory, so if you are past that point, you probably have access to it already, and you probably have even done it. So, but they want to go through it again and help anyone that might be having trouble getting through. And I think they're running a quick note from Corsair. They're running non 90 maps every other Sunday, kind of like
excellent.
they do, kind of like some kind of a podcast thing that happens.
Yep.
Yes.
And that they're doing World of Darkness this Thursday, so that'll be fun. That is a fun place. And will kind of give you a taste of things to come too. So it's a good raid. But that's enough about that. Let's get back to Gusty Tail or Gusty Coo or whatever we might be calling you. Gusty.
And then Kuchiku. So
there you go.
That works. I'm like, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us about Summer of Love?
Summer of Love. First of all, why August 2nd? We can ask that about all the other games that are stepping on our toes for August 2nd. But
what the heck?
But why we chose August 2nd? Bruce Galloway was an early member of AIE who passed away on August 2nd, 2007. His character, Milliway, is permanently fixed as the second highest rank in the guild, Imperator. He was a fan of AIE on a level that cannot be overstated, and a good friend and kind soul to all who knew him. Unfortunately, I did not join AIE in time to have met Milliway, but we are all, we carry on his legacy and honor it.
Yep.
A lot of things like craft fair is an honor. When we would do that, is honor him really way because he was such a. From what I hear, because it was way before I was in the guild as well,
Yeah.
was a kind and generous person, and we try to carry on his memory with a lot of the things that we do.
Yeah. And it's, we do it without even, this is where we say why we do it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, and we do it in all of our various games. In WoW, we meet at the Shrine of the Fallen in near Crossroads in the Barrens. Anyway, we'll keep going. Walk in WoW at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's the same across all the games, right?
Yep.
They'll be doing different things. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do all the gatherings at 9:30 on Tuesday.
Okay. And our D&D one-shots are all full, and the DMs and players have been lively making preparations on dedicated chat channels, which was a new thing this year. And we're really great because they can work out all that stuff before we actually get to the game time.
Absolutely.
So, boom. And so much excitement over what they were creating. DP Roberts is doing Mimic Museum. And I will have a dwarf cleric named Cake, Twilight Domain cleric, Cake Wellmaker.
Nice.
That's Thursday. Friday is Palel, Doomed Forgotten Realms. He hasn't said exactly what we're doing. We're going to get to vote. I will be Smudge Tiny Orc, a goblin artificer who was raised by orcs. Saturday, yeah. Saturday will be Duskmire. And he is doing Decepticon. We're breaking into into hell to steal the scepter of Asmodeus
Oh my
because we
goodness,
heard
that's
that there's a
amazing.
coup attempt going on. So amid the mayhem, we're going in there to steal his scepter.
Nice.
And I'll be playing Granny the Beast Barbarian.
Excellent.
Loads of fun. She's kind of Red Riding Hood's Granny, but
Yeah.
she's also the wolf. And she was
Oh my
originally
God,
an
yes.
NPC in our AIE Virtual Con a few years ago, and I loved her
Excellent.
so much that I made her a character.
Love it.
And then Mementh is doing Hottest Summer Ever, and I'm not sure of all the details, but I think this is his first chance being a DM.
Neat. Well, good luck.
So, yep. And otherwise, WoW Summer of Love is coming this week. Remembrance Day starts things off. And in WoW, we gather Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern at the Shrine of the Fallen. Other events in WoW include a safari to collect battle pets and toys around Shadowlands, and 2 new events, snail races, which I already mentioned, because we now have snail mounts, so of course we should race them.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Other Side Challenge, where Horde players will create an Alliance alt, and Alliance will create a Horde alt, and the idea is to gain new insight and even respect for the opposite faction, because cross-faction is a thing, and we are all AIE now. We're thinking, I'm thinking, since I'm running it, the Horde side is going to roll gnomes, and the Alliance side is going to roll either trolls or Tauren. I'll let people decide. WoW Classic is doing a Summer of Love event tonight.
In like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Sky is proud to announce that his sister, Summer of Love, is looking for a mate in true troll fashion. You must earn her hand. 6 items will be required to win her hand. Her suitor must be a new level 1 troll, no bad habits, and be able to take care of her, thus the 6 items. The items will be announced tonight. To support her in their new life, the family has put down a dowry of 1,000 gold for the winner of the Great Hunt. First troll to trade me said items gets Summer of Love and, of course, the gold. Second and third place will have prizes as well, and just a few small pets, but it should be fun. And they're also doing Remembrance Day walk from the Shrine of the Fallen Warrior to the Gates of Orgrimmar. By the way, the current WoW, we're going to do a different route, going to Booty Bay to go drinking, because our Alliance members cannot go to Orgrimmar. So instead, we're going to parade to Booty Bay. And SWOTOR, join us on the guild ship to kick off AIE's Summer of Love with a trip around the galaxy in remembrance of family, friends, and SWOTOR stories. look forward to seeing you all at 9
Yep.
p.m. Eastern, 8 Central.
Yep.
ESO Remembrance Day celebrations will be hosted by Ken at my Dankinia's primary residence.
Yep. Sorry, that should just be Dan Kinney's primary residence.
Dankinia.
She's
Oh, there we go.
Elkarth's
progressive.
prime. She's Elkarth's Kinia.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, that explains it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Abavan FC House will use the same procession route as last year, which I guess was really fun.
Mhm.
As Star Trek Online, Gribog, Wolf 359 Memorial, Guild Wars 2, Dejara at Lion's Arch, the Memorial Wall, Lotro Special Summer of Love, SNL, their mandatory fun night coming Saturday. To give a small spoiler, part will be focused on visiting landmarks that you may have read about, as well as a race. Ooh, but I bet they don't have snails.
Probably not
With
now.
prizes for all. Only requirement is to be out of the intro area. If you need help with getting out of the intro area, please let us know, and we'd be happy to escort you through it. Yay, very
Excellent.
AIE.
Yay!
And that's
Exactly.
it!
It's a
Yep.
great group of events. I love how it's we have the D&D stuff and stuff in different games, as well as our big event for Remembrance Day. Awesome, and great work. I know you have been just busting your gusty tail off to get this all arranged and everything you do. So thank you.
Yeah.
One of the people in New Braid called me Ms. Tail.
That was perfect.
And I was like,
His tail.
I guess I'll take that. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And if you need a reminder of the schedule or everything, in the main AIE Discord, there is a Summer of Love divider, and then there's a channel called Soul Info and Discussion. And everything you need is in there. It's pinned, schedules, the whole thing.
Excellent.
All right. Any other parting words? Or are we all
Parting
done?
shots.
No.
Something?
Just one thing, as we've done in the past, when we do the gathering, there will be a time, basically open mic for people that want to give memorials or remembrances of people that have passed, or either in the past year or the past few years.
Right.
Just a brief description and speak from the heart. You don't have to bring a speech. Just say, hey, my dad passed July 25th a year ago, and this is why we participate in the memory the remembrance days, just to remember all those, starting with Bruce. So please come out Tuesday and celebrate with everyone.
I think in WoW and maybe other games, you're also not supposed to equip weapons.
Correct.
But you can bring
During the walk.
balloons and
Yep.
things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if possible, either don't equip your weapon or at least hide it, because most
And
games
just-
give you those two.
Yeah.
And dismiss pets, I believe.
Yes, dismiss pets. Yeah, because the
that's gonna
pets.
cause lag and all that. Issue.
Yeah, when an AIE procession happens, it tends to lag things up. So
You can have your
Gotta be nice.
AIE balloon out.
yeah,
So
but lots to come this week. So join us.
Awesome.
But that'll be it for our show tonight. So while the lovely chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank Gusty Kutail for joining us. So thank you.
Yes, the
thank you.
Thank you. This was always fun.
Yeah.
so much. All right. And if people want to find you, how can they do that?
Go into wow.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm Zeus Mom 2010, I think, on Twitter, but I mostly just tweet every now and then about Dark Moon Fair and how fun that is.
So,
I'll probably
Oh.
put some pictures from this year too.
Yeah.
Summer.
great. All right. And if you have questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast.aieguild.org
Words are
at
hard.
gmail.com. That changed recently.
Yeah,
It
it did.
did.
So I'm sorry. It's
The
kind of
muscle
like
memory wants you to do something else.
Yep.
exactly. Like, yeah, the times when I forgot the word dash while reading the stuff. Okay. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. Mew is at The Mew Cow. I am at Cyberwave. And Tet is at Ivory Tiger. I'm getting feedback. All right. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website. aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for the chat is aie-guild.info/discord. For past podcast episodes, you can see them on YouTube. Just look for the AIE podcast there. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
All right. And it is time to play all of the great AI member segments we received this week. Well, we haven't gotten any, but again, if you'd like to send one in, just reach out and talk to us. 90 to 120 seconds. Can be a show promo for one of your podcasts. As long as it's AIE related, bring it on.
And our next official show will be in about a month because stuff is happening in 2 weeks.
Someone's turning old, and you know,
Someone's turning old.
Someone's a
Allegedly.
Leo.
Allegedly.
You know, there's a T-shirt you can find online that says, "Oh my gosh, I'm the same age as old people."
But I'm not.
Yeah. She still gets carded buying alcohol, so it's
there
fine.
you go.
My alcohol's old enough to buy alcohol.
Right?
Well, until then, AIE.
What?
You started.
Hi.
Your line, Gusty, your line.
Oh, this was mine. Bye.
This is.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. This is Gusty Tail. I didn't scroll down.
Yes. Gusty Tail to the notes, please. Gusty Tail to the notes.
Yes.
This is Bucow.
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
And this has been the AIE podcast.
Yay!
So
You
sorry,
started
I thought
all
mine was
this.
done with lines.
You
Oh my
forgot
god,
the
that
thing
was
that you
delightful.
started.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
That
know.
was
Well, I
amazing.
didn't realize we were saying bye.
Yes.
If you had said, if you'd said, "This is
Yeah, we
Mika,
should
this
put
is
her at the
Mika,"
end.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
Okay,
probably should
then
put her
I
at the
would've
end.
joined
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I didn't
That
realize.
makes
Don't
sense.
be. That was
part.
adorable. Why?
all right. Well, chat room, since we do have an event starting in WoW Classic, we are going to cut the stream and everyone get over to WoW Classic. Make your trolls. Have fun.
And
Yep,
thank you,
have fun over there.
Gusty.
All right. Thank you, Gusty.
Yeah, I'm going over there right now.
All right.
All right.
Bye,
But
chat room.
Have you take a look at the show notes there?